Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today we will discuss the ear, external ear and middle ear. As we know that the ear has three parts. It is divided into outer ear, middle ear and inner ear. So we will discuss the outer ear and middle ear. The outer ear is the visible part of the ear. The outer ear comprises a shelf-like protrusion from each side of the head, a canal through which sounds travel. That canal is known as external auditory canal, and the eardrum membrane, that is also known as tympanic membrane. So basically, the outer ear consists of three parts: the auricle, which is visible to the eye, then it leads to a canal, that is external auditory canal, and this canal then approaches a membrane that is known as the tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane is actually the partition between the external ear and middle ear. The outer visible portion of the external ear has different parts. You can see this is the lowermost part of the auricle, that is the lobule. It consists of fibro-fatty tissues, and it is devoid of cartilage. In this outer projection, that is known as the helix, that is the antihelix. This is the concha through which the sounds travel into the external auditory canal and then into the tympanic membrane. This is the tragus, and opposite to the tragus we have antitragus. This is the triangular fossa. The auricle is the most visible part in the outer ear mechanism. It varies in size and shape from person to person. The funnel-like shape plays an important role on gathering sound waves from the environment. So basically the function of this auricle is to gather the sound waves from the environment and transmit it into the external auditory canal and tympanic membrane. And it is made of cartilage with a number of twists, turns, and indentations. The blood supply of the auricle is through the superficial temporal artery, posterior auricular artery, and auricular branch of occipital artery. The nerve supply is greater auricular nerve, auriculotemporal nerve, lesser occipital nerve, auricular branch of the vagus nerve, and facial nerve. So, auricle has a very rich nerve supply through all these nerves. The external auditory canal is a tube formed in the side of the head, which begins at the concha and extended inward at a slight upward angle for approximately 1 inch in adults. So, canal actually starts from the concha and it ends where? Up to the tympanic membrane. It is elliptical in shape and averages about 9 mm in height and 6.5 mm in width. Outer portion of the external auditory canal passes through the cartilage. The skin of EAC supports several set of glands such as sebaceous glands. Sebaceous gland it secrete oily secretion and fatty substances. The major product of these secretions is airwax or cerumen. So these glands basically they produce oily secretion and they trap any foreign particle that enters into the ear. The cerumen exits the ear naturally when the wall of the EAC are distorted by the movement of the jawbone during chewing and speaking. The outer third of external auditory canal contains a number of hair follicles. So the outer part has a hair follicle. So if there is any infection in these hair follicles, then they are very painful because they have less space and it is very painful. Cerumen and hairs helps to keep foreign objects um, from passing into the inner two-thirds of the canal. The inner area of EAC passes through the tympanic portion or temporal bone. There are no glands and here in this area. The two portions of the external auditory canal meet at the osteocartilaginous junction. As far as the arterial supply of this external acoustic meatus is concerned, it is supplied by auricular branch of superficial temporal artery, auricular branch of posterior auricular artery, and deep auricular artery. The arterial supply of tympanic membrane is deep auricular, interior tympanic, posterior tympanic, and orthotympanic. All these branches they supply the tympanic membrane. So this is actually the tympanic membrane or eardrum, which is a partition between the external ear and middle ear, and it has this handle of Milius, the visible handle of Milius, and the part above this is the pars flexida, and below is the pars tensa. Uh, this is the interior fold, and this one is the posterior fold. Tympanic membrane, the external auditory canal ends in a concave or disc-like structure called the tympanic membrane. It is also called as the eardrum. The tympanic membrane acts as a border between the outer ear and middle ear. It is constructed of three layers. The outer layer is osseous, middle is tough, fibrous connective tissue. So this was about the external ear. Now what about the middle ear? Middle ear cavity is also known as the tympanic cavity. The part which is opposite to the tympanic membrane is known as the mesotympanum. The part above is the epitympanum. The part below is the hypotympanum. And this middle ear, it has valves, lateral valve, medial valve, interior valve, posterior valve, roof, and floor. So the middle ear cavity is also known as the tympanic cavity. This is actually the interior wall of the middle ear, and this is the roof. The roof of the middle ear is formed by the tegmen tympani. Uh, it is a part of the temporal bone, petrous part of the temporal bone. This is the interior wall, also known as the carotid wall. You can see this is the internal carotid artery. This one is the muscle tensor tympani muscle, and this is the instituent tube. So there are these openings. These openings are for this structure, the muscle, the tube, and the carotid artery. And this is the inferior wall. The inferior wall is also known as the jugular wall because a thin plate of bone separates this wall from the internal jugular vein. Posterior wall is also known as mastoid wall. It communicates with the mastoid ear cells. And the lateral wall, as we know, is also known as the membranous wall because the lateral wall separates from this middle ear from the tympanic membrane. So the lateral wall is actually the tympanic membrane. It separates this middle ear from the outer ear. The roof is formed by the tegment tympani. Both petrous and squamous portion of temporal bone form it. Petrosquamous suture, as it doesn't close till adult life, can lead to infection in extradural space in children. So any infection in children can spread from middle ear into the cranial cavity because this middle ear it communicates with the cranial cavity through the roof, through a tegment tympani. Veins superior petrosal sinus. The floor is also known as the jugular valve because the thin plate of bone separates it from the internal jugular vein. Interior wall of the middle ear is lower one-third thin plate of bone covering carotid artery, perforated by superior and inferior corticotympanic nerves. Middle one-third is Steuchon tube, and above this opening is canal for tensor tympani muscles. So we have seen here, this is the opening for the tensor tympani muscle. This is the opening for the Steuchon tube, which through which this middle ear communicates with the nasopharynx. And this is the internal carotid artery. Nerves can enter into the middle ear through this interior wall. Medial wall of the middle ear is has few structures. One is promontory. Promontory is actually a bulge which is produced by the first ton of the cochlea. Then we have two windows. One is dual window, the other is round window, and facial nerve canal. Promontory covers part of the basal part of the cochlea. It contains nerves forming tympanic plexus. Tympanic branch of ninth nerve may be covered by bone forming a small canal. So we can see this is the medial wall of the tympanic cavity or middle ear. This is the bulge. This bulge is produced by the first ton of the cochlea and this is known as promontory. Oval window is behind and above the round window. It is kidney shaped. It connects tympanic cavity with the vestibule closed by stapes, footplate and annular ligaments. Facial nerve canal, also known as fallopian canal, it runs above the promontory and oval window in anterior superior direction. So this is the facial nerve. This is the geniculate ganglia of the facial nerve. So it goes anterior superiorly above the promontory and then it comes into the posterior wall and then the vertical portion goes downwards to enter into the stylomastoid foramen. Smooth rounded lateral surfaces, microdehiscences along the line of nerve 2 or 3 blood vessels are visible. This canal is marked interiorly by the processus cochleariformis and behind by the oval window. Processus cochleariformis is actually a shelf of bone and that is housed by the muscle, the tensor tympani muscle. It is a curved piece of bone housing tensor tympani muscle tendon. Behind the oval window, facial canal starts inferiorly. Posterior wall is actually the adductus and antrum, mastoid antrum. Then we have fossa inclusus, pyramid. Canal within the pyramid curves downward, backward to join descending portion of facial nerve canal. So what about the contents of the middle ear? Middle ear is ossicles. Ossicles, they are the small chain of